Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Let's Chill with EarthBound, where our main goal is to simply unwind, relax a little, chill, maybe even just go to sleep. And as always, we're going to take about the next 30 minutes or so just for you, just to settle down a little bit. Maybe things have been a little hectic lately, and this is what that time is for. It's just to ease your way out of that a little bit and really just focus on being here, being present just for right now, just for a little bit. And we will do that by continuing our journey with Ness and a couple of his friends. Last time we ventured through the desert, saw a few of the sights, but admittedly not all of them, and that's okay. But now we are in the mine that has been dug out in search of buried gold, as the crooked manager, I suppose, of the theater in Forsyth has trapped the Runaway Five in yet another phony contract. So maybe, just maybe, we'll find a way to help them out. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. It's been a little while since I've been through this part of the game, and it's a bit of a maze down here, but hopefully we won't get turned around too much as we start a battle here. The Nooseman and cohort, the old mad duck that we've seen before, who are basically not a threat at this point in the game. So we'll just worry about this walking rope enemy back here. Kind of an odd critter to have as an enemy, but there are many interesting sights in this game. The snakes down here can be a small issue, but no matter. Thirsty coil snake. They are susceptible to freeze, which is very good for us. They like to use a lot of poison attacks, which are always just a little bit annoying, but we will be okay. Now, as was mentioned at the close of the last episode, we are down here looking for a group of powerful moles. And sure enough, here's one now. It says, I am one of the masters of this hole. There are 5 in all. We're all moles, of course. I believe I'm the 3rd strongest amongst us, rather. Take your best shot. So we've found the Guardian Digger, And just to play it a little safe, these guys are excellent targets for big bottle rockets, as you can see. It won't always finish them in a single hit, but it sure can, and we like it when it does. These 5 moles put together give a healthy amount of experience by the time all is said and done. Getting an IQ capsule there, and we will go ahead and give that to Jeff, as he needs a fair amount of IQ over the course of the game in order to repair all of the items that he gets. This place can be a little troublesome with the number of encounters that you might run into. Individually, any of these battles are usually not terribly threatening, but this place can slowly wear you down. Unfortunately, if things get too out of hand, we have our good old pal, the exit mouse, and there's a free space to rest just upstairs, or outside, I suppose, as the case may be. That snake actually dropped a chick. I'm not sure how he was holding on to it, but that's what the chirping sound is now. Getting a big bottle rocket here, which we will give to Jeff, of course. You might remember I mentioned way back in Happy Village that you can grow chickens, basically. And that their purpose in the game seems to be just to sell them, basically. As they are worth a small amount of money. It's really negligible at this point in the game for us. But if you're ever having money trouble, you can always buy some fresh eggs and they will eventually become full-grown chickens. As you can see, we've found another family of exit mice, including a couple of presents here, which are both food items, I believe, so we can safely leave those there. And the chick has grown up. You can tell based on that interesting sound they've used for the chicken clucking. And we found another guardian. He says, "I'm really the third strongest master. I'll destroy you now." Well, we certainly aren't just interested in being destroyed and having picked up another big bottle rocket. How about we just go ahead? Ah, yes. The guardian moles also begin battle with a power shield, which will reflect half of the physical damage done to them for up to 3 attacks Or rather, I should say a minimum of 3 attacks. And even that's not accurate. It will always reflect 3 attacks, and then it will fade away. Getting a coin of defense. Who needs it? Going to side with Paula once more. I know Jeff has well, never mind then. The Mr. Saturn coin is superior. So we will give it to Jeff. Since Ness has far and away the most hit points of any of the party members throughout the game. And we start a fight with a new enemy. Looks familiar, however. A gigantic ant, as opposed to the Titanic ant that we saw much earlier in the game. And we have answers for him now. Freeze Beta is just a highly efficient power from Paula. Very strong all throughout the game. But even though it's an efficient spell, there are so many encounters down here that it is possible that both Paula and Ness can run out of psychic points eventually. But we will deal with problems as they arise. So at this point, I've kind of, in common maze practice, I've basically just been sticking to the Ness's right wall as we go around. Since this game was sold with the player's guide, a very novel way of marketing the game, there was a time when I really had this place memorized. We had a large pack of newsmen here. And hopefully we don't see too many large packs of those newsmen around here. They are not terribly strong individually, but as a group they're just a little troublesome to deal with. But no matter. Paula did learn her next tier of freeze power during that fight, so. And I know I'm already breaking my rule about sticking to the right wall. But fortunately, we didn't have to break it for very long. We'll give Paula that teddy bear. And this should... I think I remember where we are now. as we come across another Guardian Digger. It says, my strength falls between the second and fourth strongest masters. Do you want to test me? We will, as we fight the third strongest Guardian Digger. Beginning to sense a pattern here. Now we're out of big bottle rockets. Paula is beginning to run low on psychic points. But here's what we're going to do. It doesn't matter. We will do what must be done and use our newest freeze power, which is just about as strong as a big bottle rocket. Getting a Psy Caramel, which is great. We will go ahead and give that to Paula. And she actually has the one from much earlier in the game. I think it may have come from Peaceful Rest Valley. And an unfortunate pack of enemies once more. So we'll go ahead and use this other caramel. Try and clear out some of these enemies here. As we find a super bomb. Now anyone can use the bombs. This one deals out some heavy-duty destruction and may do splash damage. I believe it does around 300 damage to its main target and half as much to anything flanking it, so it can be a helpful item. Well, we must have very good cell service provider. As Dad calls us once again. We are out to save the world, Dad. As we find the fourth Guardian, I believe, who says, I'm truly the third strongest master of this whole. And I'll demonstrate the power of being third to you. But we will deal with him similarly as to the one before. Obtaining a guts capsule in the process. And I know numerically speaking, it probably makes the most sense to give the guts capsules to Jeff, but for reasons that will become clear much later, I'm not going to do that, and I will instead give them to Ness. So I try to avoid some encounters here. We are looking for the final Guardian Digger, who should be down to the south here. already see the screen slowing down. Many of you may be wondering why I turned my back to the enemy like that, and I'll admit it was from a moment of indecision. I thought I might try to use the technique of stutter stepping to try to get away from them, but I am quite out of practice in doing that, so it didn't quite work out terribly well. But it's okay. So we're running a bit low on resources. But that's just kind of how this cave works, as we are closing in on the end. We will take a moment here to heal up just a little bit and cleaning up the inventory at the same time. As we face the final guardian Nigger, who says, "You fought the strongest master of this whole, second strongest master, the fourth strongest master, and the weakest master." He says, "I'm truly the third strongest master of this whole." We will see the true advantage of being third. Now we're low on resources, but not low enough. So we'll use that super bomb that we picked up and a freeze beta. And that should do it. And with that, as the music returns to the familiar old radio, that's how we know we have cleared out all of the guardians. Finding a luck capsule and a platinum band in the presence. The platinum band is a fine defensive item for us at this point in the game. And I see that Ness has developed the status effect of homesickness. And I would much rather discover that in the status screen than during battle. Homesickness is a unique status effect that only Ness can have. And it has a tendency to cause him to skip turns during battle. And the way to cure it is, well, one might think the cure might be to visit home. But in fact, we only need to call home and talk to his mom. Let's see. If I recall correctly, yes. And we don't need the croissant. But I did want that picnic lunch. And I will go ahead and walk out of here. And I'll meet you all on the outside. And we're back outside. Just in time for another photo opportunity. So, fuzzy pickles. Now, we could have used the exit mouse to get out of there in a hurry, but I would rather save the exit mouse for a particular scenario later. As we talk to our old miner pal, says, "We've gotten rid of the monster. Good job. Just let him dig and he'll find the buried gold. And we will leave him to it. Take a quick rest in the nearby small house. Feeling very refreshed. And the miner has already gotten back to work. And our work here is done. So we will leave him to his job and start heading back to Foreside. Just enjoying a nice walk there. Don't worry, we'll be getting rid of the clucking chicken soon enough. What's this? It's our miner pal. Or rather, his brother, George. Says Gerardo is in his mine. He hasn't found any buried treasure. However, they did find a diamond. And they want us to have it. Seems like quite the reward. In fact, let's take a look at it. Big, beautiful, and expensive-looking gem. Hopefully it will be of some use in helping out the Runaway Five. As we make our way back to Foreside. Once again with grassy parks, tall buildings. I still don't think we are allowed in the department store. So I'm going to ask you all for make a small forgiveness and pretend that we sold this chicken. I apologize if the chicken clucking sound was a little too much. But anyway, here we are back at the Topola Theater, and we are all set to hopefully bail out the Runaway Five, which we will do next time. So, I realize this was a bit more action-heavy kind of episode, but I hope you still managed to find it mostly relaxing and really just be grateful to yourself for taking the time just to be. It's far too easy to just kind of run our lives on autopilot. So a little gratitude toward yourself just in this moment, just to be and be present and be part of this experience. I'm certainly grateful for it. With that said, we will close out the episode. I thank you as always, and we will see you again every Monday and Thursday with more. So until next time, take care.